The Trevor Teichman Show back. I had to wear it. Last weekend, I got to go to the best football game of all of eternity. Chiefs and Bills, back and forth, back and forth. It was an amazing, electric environment. Coming from the beginning of the show, we've got a huge flyover. I'll put in some footage of some of the time that I spent at the park. It was unbelievable. We had Bills fans screaming their faces off, Chiefs fans getting nuts, and one of them even running on the field. The back and forth in that last 2 minutes, which seemed like an entire football game, was off the charts. The energy was amazing, and being sandwiched in between two New York groups, it was kind of crazy because you got both perspectives as we went back and forth in this duel towards the end. And the one point that I wanted to make out with all this is I would say by far one of the coolest ways to end a game is maybe for both sides would be a whole different format. I know this is beat up in media all the time, but I have yet to hear about a different rule set that actually truly beats college. You know why they won't change the rules? Because people are going to get hurt. They're too tired. You can't just run another 15 minutes out there and crush all these guys. They've been working their tails off. You saw that electric offense going back and forth with the Bills and the Chiefs. Do you think that was just because the defenses were fresh and they were being beat? No, it's the compounding interest of play after play after play, getting more and more fatigued. Defenses move into zones. They're trying to do their best to stay up with the fastest guys in the league. That's where this comes in. It's fatigue. So, it was an amazing experience, but I had to share my overtime thoughts with you. I'm telling you, I think this is genius. I think this will work. What if, and let's also say, how important is betting this day and age? The NFL is embracing every bit of this betting concept, whether it be betting on wins, whether it be the spread, whether it be, it's endless. But I don't know one person that I know that is not betting on sports right now. You want to know what you would do to really make this a little bit more exciting? Turn the overtime into a skills challenge similar to a Pro Bowl concept, but either make it a quarterback challenge, a kicker challenge, or something. It probably has to be those two because that's really the only thing that's going to be very structured and that you could bet on very easily. You have Allen and Mahomes dueling it out the entire football game. Comes down to the line. If Allen wins the toss, most definitely, probably you would say he might win. He didn't show any hesitation going down the field. He was scoring just as readily as Mahomes was. Mahomes wins the toss, wins the football game. What if the skills challenge is set up where they have to hit certain targets in a certain amount of time? One time. We don't need 10 different types of overtime. It's a skills challenge, whether it be something on the clock of hitting certain targets, whether it be the closeness of a throw. Brainstorm through that. I'm not exactly sure how that should go, but wouldn't you want the two best players in the whole NFL standing there dueling it out in that format? We don't have to worry about getting more injuries in the game. We don't have to worry about the defense that's more fatigued than the other come the back half of the game. Now you've got two of the greatest football players that everybody wants to watch, and then give them about 5 minutes to get all the bets in, because I promise you could the amount of revenue that the NFL and all these betting websites would make by allowing a skills challenge would be unbelievable. Now, the quarterbacks, I think, would be the best, the most interesting, but I think you would have to figure out a really good format. I don't have that all the way thought out for you today, but maybe you can let me know in the comments if you've got it figured out. But also, think about like a kicker's challenge. I remember a long time ago, I watched a Pro Bowl when Vinatieri was there, and there was a couple other like super top-notch kickers. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever watching these guys basically play pig, or they were playing horse. I can't remember which, but they were kicking balls directly beside the field goal posts, right in line where that line is so skinny to get it in, and all of them would make it. The next guy would go out to the 42-yard line, over into the corner by the sideline. The next guy would go real short, and it was just pretty impressive to see these guys be able to make kicks at different angles at different times. Now, don't get me wrong. The field goal at the end of the game, pressure, field goal. You got to kick a 49 or 48 yarder to win it. But it also took all those other things to take place. And I don't think our kicker's getting enough credit because the ball's on that guy. To kick that through the uprights is beyond me. I mean, what a pressure kick. But could you also see that whole thing? This is why I think the quarterback challenge would be funner. It's a little bit more of the face of your franchise. But what if you then went into a kickoff and you've got these guys standing in different locations? Maybe they're preset. Maybe it's done by a flip of a coin. Maybe, there's a ton of variables where you could work through this concept. But imagine the betting lines there even. Is this guy going to make this kick? Can he miss one or can he miss two? If it's just cutthroat and it's 1-1, could you imagine you start at the 20-yard line, they both knock it down. You start at the 30-yard line, they both knock it down. You get all the way to the 60. It would be a very exciting experience to have the downtime. And what I mean by that is, okay, in the last 13, 15 seconds of the game, we're standing there. New York is cheering. Chiefs are cheering. New York's cheering. Chiefs are cheering. It's so unbelievably loud. At some points you could almost hear a pin drop. And then other times it was so deafening loud that you didn't even know what you were doing. You were just screaming with them because you had to fit in. It was an amazing feeling that you had. But could you imagine being able to duplicate that with a kickoff? Could you imagine how quiet the stadium would be? There would be crickets when your kicker got up there, or maybe it'd be a low roar. I don't know. They'd probably tell everyone what they should be doing. Should you be loud? Should you be quiet? I mean, it would just be insane to see a back and forth kickoff at the end of the game as well. Of course, I do think you put the best football players on the team. Maybe it's even a route type of thing with receivers, but I just hate to see guys get tired when they go to overtime. When they start getting tired and people get injured for no reason, would it have been good to see, Kelsey go down in the overtime because he pulled his hamstring? Tyreek Hill has an ankle something because he rolled it, just, wasn't running his route quite as sharp as he was. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they were. Everyone played amazing in the last probably 2 minutes of the game. I don't think anybody could have played any better. To be in the stadium and witness the back and forth was just an amazing experience. And I hope you had a little chance to check out some of that background footage. I put it on a loop for you so you guys could maybe feel it out a little bit. But think about that. If you guys, think about that, write me some comments. I'll go back and forth with you a little bit. I think that that format of a quarterback duel or a kicker duel in an overtime would be a pretty amazing way to close it out. The betting lines support it. I couldn't even imagine how much money they could make in a 30-second overtime window, betting on kickoff or betting on a quarterback challenge. Let me know what your thoughts are. This concludes it for today, and let's get ready for a big game this weekend.